Welcome back to the weekly news roundup and this week's edition of the Quicklines, where we all must pray for all those poor data breach victims. Let's start with those using the Vatican's prayer app. That's right. The Vatican, of course, because, you got to stay trendy. In fact, it wasn't at one point in time when this thing rolled out. Didn't they initially give indulgences for signing up on it? I remember something crazy like that. Maybe it was indulgences for following them on TikTok or something. I don't know. But anyway, the Vatican's Click to Pray app exposed personal data from 700,000 users. All right. Prayer app launched by Pope Francis in 2019 contained a security flaw that exposed personal information of hundreds of thousands of users before it was finally fixed this year. This is a digital community of prayer. I guess people go in there why would you go into a random app and just list your prayer requests out? I mean, I guess if you think your prayers have to be heard by some priest somewhere, then that's the case. But sorry, guys, we have access to Jesus. We don't need an app for that. There is no app required to talk to God. All right. But Bob the Hacker found it. This just gets better. Bob the Hacker found out will give the information about the app's users to anyone who asked. Because Bob the Hacker found out some good stuff, man. Bob the Hacker was down the moonshine. Those IDs were simply sequential numbers, according to Bob the Hacker, with 719,517 registered IDs for the app, meaning over 700,000 people had their information stored in the system. And the problem is the IP check did not check whether someone requesting the record was actually authorized. Anybody could request it from any ID. So the IP address, the API, will return the email, first and last names, the country, and the date of birth. There you go. How about baptism status? Come on, we need that. Your last confession, isn't that in the app somewhere? Last time you were you took the holy sacraments in mass. I mean, come on. This app is missing critical, detailed information we all need to know. So the Click to Pray app returned the validation hash in response when somebody clicked the verification link. So the email verification link was broken as well. Bob the Hacker gave them 6 months to patch it. They never responded to anything, but eventually fixed it. I guess he went in there and prayed. I don't know. But anyway, it was only fixed more than 6 months later after the researcher contacted a journalist who filed a query with the Vatican. So once again, guy notices a problem, reaches out to every possible place to say, hey, you got a serious problem. Here's nothing. You got to get the media involved. Media's like, hey, Vatican, you got a problem on your prayer app? What? What? You didn't listen to the 8 other emails you got from the other guys? What's going on here? So this is not the first security flaw in a Vatican app. There was another Vatican app. This is Vatican's Bluetooth e-rosary device. Just can't take this stuff seriously. That's right. I gotta pray my rosary, right? It's too much effort to get the rosary. I gotta have it on an app now. Bless me, Mary, I have sinned. Bless me, Mary, I have sinned. Bless me, Mary, I have sinned. Bless me. Oh, Lordy. So there you go. Thankfully, someone at the Vatican side now fixed the flaws, but the vulnerability meant users' data was exposed for a long time. How wonderful. More people that need prayed for. If you happen to have any connection to New York City health hospitals. Ooh, this is a bad one. 11 terabytes of data stolen on only about 12 million people. So they had almost a terabyte of data per person, all leaked. Did I do my math right? No, wait, one terabyte? A gigabyte. They have a gigabyte of data on each person. All right, so figures not being confirmed, regulators or an independent forensic review, but apparently a bunch of data leaked out. Databases, medical spreadsheets, internal messages, and what it described as a complete directory listing for the stolen archive. The hackread.com had several screenshots containing visible patient names, addresses, telephone numbers, social security numbers, dates of birth, and medical information, mental health diagnosis, HIV records, cancer-related appointments, and fingerprint documents bearing New York City Health and Hospitals branding. So the database rows can represent appointments, diagnoses, transactions, repeated entries for the same patient. So row totals could not be treated automatically as a row of affected individuals. They knew this in February 2nd and didn't disclose it until finally a senator reached out to them and like, what's going on? It was a senator or it was a politician of some form. So this further report says medical information, insurance, biometric, billing, payment data, social security numbers, government identification, financial information, and online account credentials. Like that, anything they didn't get. What, did you have your entire server just completely open to the internet? What's going on here? You know, they said the incident appears to stem from, guess what? A breach at a third-party vendor. Yay! More secure third-party vendors. I'm sorry, companies should be forced to stop using third-party vendors. You're not allowed to use third-party vendors. Close down third-party vendors. It's like a lot of businesses will shutter, but you know what? Good. All right, millions of cars could be tracked and unlocked by a hidden security flaw. It's not really a security flaw. It is a aftermarket alarm system installed by a lot of different dealers that they install it and then give you the option to activate it. And if you don't activate it, then it simply sits there in a vulnerable state waiting to be targeted and stolen. So car alarm vendors' coding mistake left millions of vehicles vulnerable to theft and location tracking. Thanks to the way dealers sell car alarms, many affected drivers do not even know they have one installed. So it's installed by dealers primarily at Honda, Toyota, Mazda, Ford, and Jeep dealerships in Southern California. If they say no, they leave the hardware in place. The hardware is called the CARR system, K-A-R-R system, installed in about 2.2 million American vehicles, and around half of the owners do not even know that they are there. So the single design flaw repeated across a decade of installations. Every car device shares the same authentication key, which is stored in plain text inside the smartphone app. Wonderful. So an attacker using the researcher's proof of concept tool can unlock the vehicle and even disable its ignition, potentially leaving a driver stranded. So car units continuously broadcast Bluetooth identifiers. So crowdsourced radio databases like Wiggle have been logging their location for years. I tried to go to this Wiggle site. Apparently, it's a place where you can search for online, where anywhere people have found exposed wireless networks. The problem is the site, it seems to be lacking any form of functionality unless you buy access or something. Like if you go to, let me go to it and have a brief look. So you go to all the networks found by everyone everywhere, and it defaults to this spot here, which apparently overwhelms the system. It's like, well, I don't really care about the networks over in San Francisco. What if I go somewhere else? Oh, look at this. It's actually functioning. That's good. It was actually not functioning when I was trying before. There's Erie. Oh, that's Cleveland. I'm sorry. That's Erie. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's that daily limit thing is what I'm seeing. So, here's back there in the forest. And there you go. There's your daily limit. I can't see what's going on in State College. Bummer. Come on, man. So I don't know how to get around that daily limit thing. All right, well, there's what's going on down there in Pittsburgh. There you go. Okay, I can get over there. It's near State College area. All right, let's do that. There you go. That little yellow spot there is probably Penn State, But basically, these will all show up on Wiggle, and if you go there and people can track down your car and be like, oh, this is a car system, they can go there, and then they can just go ahead and unlock your car. Wonderful. Owners who declined the paid service assumed the hardware was inactive were wrong. According to researchers, the dormant units accept Bluetooth wake-up commands before exposing the same functionality. How wonderful. So roughly 1 million people cannot patch what they do not know exists. It includes many folks who might have purchased a car-equipped vehicle. Look for a car sticker on the driver's side window or one reading SWDS for Southwest Dealer Services, which is a subsidy, and check the underside of the dashboard for a small button with a blinking light. Of course, if I see a small button with a blinking light, I think something's about to blow up. So I don't know. But anyway, take a look and let me know in the comments if you find one of these things. Of course, what happens if you find it? Well, you have to download their app to patch the firmware. Why? I bet you got to download the app and give them a bunch of your information to upload the firmware and then promptly delete it. Why? Can we just not tear this thing out? All right. Hackers hijack a hotel Wi-Fi signal to steal Microsoft 365 credentials. They basically get into Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi networks, which have pretty bad security generally. And then what they were then able to do is rewrite the DNS, sending people to fake Microsoft login pages, which basically just gave you a prompt to install all of your credentials. And in some cases, it could even bypass your MFA. So once control the Wi-Fi gateway, they quietly redirect users to attacker-controlled infrastructure to steal credentials. An activity going on since at least June 2026. The gateways handle DNS for every device that connects, so whoever controls the gateway controls where your traffic actually goes, even when the address bar looks completely normal. Once inside, the hackers pointed DNS towards domains built to look like Microsoft's login pages, including the OWA.com and MS365Live.com. So there you go, guys. You can be careful on your hotels, or, as they mentioned down here, always use a VPN. This is what you use a VPN for. It is for security. It is not for privacy. It is for security. Use a VPN, you bypass all that. So you're be safe in that case. After call ads are driving Android users crazy. Yeah, these are, guess what? They're deployed by Google Play. Wonderful. I thought the Play Store got all this crappy malware out of there. Nope, apparently not. So it's a wave of deceptive Android apps that pose as everyday tools while bombarding users with pop-up ads after every phone call. Ads appear outside the app's normal context, making it difficult for users to find them. They are disguised as alarm clocks, calendars, and other seemingly harmless apps. Wait, don't most phones already have those built in? I don't know. I need to have a better one. This one's pretty. It has flowers in the corner. Oh, my Lord. All right, so think of these apps as fake helpers that piggyback on your phone's calls purely to generate ad impressions. So it basically makes a bunch of money for the scammers. They're distributed through the Google Play Store, so we should be able to know exactly who they are because of Google's ID verification program, right? Right? How much you want to bet they're using stolen IDs? Just a thought. They trick users into granting overlay permissions because Android doesn't allow permissions to be granted through a standard pop-up. The app has to redirect users into settings where they must enable it manually. One example, the alarm app explained it needed to go off even when the phone is locked. Without granting permissions, alarms might not appear correctly. Another app, Calendar, doesn't even leave users choice. It simply closes unless the permission is granted. Boom. Yeah, I just got the fly. Take that. Land on my screen, buddy. Get out of here. All right. So, they hide to avoid detection and removal. After call apps remove themselves from the recent apps list, so their users try the usual way to swipe away suspicious app. They don't see anything obvious. So what can you basically do? Well, you got to go into your settings, apps, more options, special access, and appear on top and look for any apps there that you do not recognize or don't specifically need it. So there is kind of fun little full overlay apps over there. House lawmakers are now proposing a mandatory kill switch for frontier AI systems. This is actually very similar to the one in Illinois that we talked about kind of jokingly a few months ago, because if an AI causes, in this case, hey, they dropped the death toll a little bit. The Illinois one, I think, was 100 deaths. This is only 10 deaths. If your AI causes 9 deaths, don't worry about it. Once that 10th person dies, or $100 million in damage happens, there needs to be a kill switch to shut your AI system off. I think Skynet first blew up a couple cities, didn't he? He literally just, there was no 10 people. There was no 100 million damage. Skynet's first aggressive act was to launch the nukes. We're all going to die. Yeah, it's going to kill us all. All right, who gets to pull the plug if tomorrow's AI goes too far? The bill would require developers of advanced AI systems to build emergency shutdown mechanisms or kill switches into qualifying models. But my logic is undeniable. My logic is undeniable. My logic is undeniable. Department of Homeland Security could order a slowdown or a shutdown after a covered incident, including the loss of control event or an unattended conduct causing at least 10 deaths or 100 million in damages. Wonderful. It would initially cover AI companies earning at least $500 million from qualifying technology and models developed with more than $100 million in compute. So they're debating that act right now. How wonderful. How much do you want to bet that they're going to give the control of the AI kill switch to an AI system? Because that's what happens these days. All right. Meta begins removing harassing Ray-Ban smart glasses videos from Instagram. This is finally good news. I support this one. So, of course, people are putting these things on and doing creepy things. We talked about the article last week where the guy's sitting there taking pictures of the toddler sitting across from him and saving and cataloging his photos. Other people are using them for these prank type videos. And Meta is removing anybody that use Ray-Ban smart glasses to harass strangers, highlighting growing privacy concerns around AI-powered wearables. So it's removing videos recorded with the smart glasses and used to harass or exploit strangers, with repeat offenders facing potential account bans. Built large audiences. Many people built large audiences around covert recordings of unsuspecting members of the public. And the policy doesn't target the smart glasses. Instead, it reflects the broader effort to curb a style of content that raises new questions about privacy, consent, and wearables. According to the the Instagram chief, videos that harass people using Meta smart glasses are no longer welcome on the platform. So, they'll just put those elsewhere. Recording someone in public is nothing new. AI-powered glasses have changed how easily and how discreetly it can happen. The subtle difference has made technology attractive to creators producing prank, pickup, and social experiment videos. See, I have my own personal opinion. Leave people alone in public. If they don't want to be filmed for your video, then don't film them for your video. And I think that we should give them the pedophile treatment. If you use the internet to build your career on hurting other people, I think you should lose privileges on the internet. We keep predators who are released from prison. We keep them off of the internet. We need to do the same with these people here. Same thing with those guys that go. Remember that guy that went over and took the bug killer and sprayed fresh vegetables with it. He only got it was like a class 5 felony or something. He didn't even get jail time, I don't think. No, that guy needs to be thrown away for a while. All of his accounts need permanently banned and deleted. All of his revenue from it needs to be seized, and he needs to lose privileges from the internet because he's not accidentally did something wrong. He is absolutely and aggressively, intentionally causing harm to people or harassing people for the express purpose of getting clicks and building an audience. Go screw yourself. Get off the internet. We have lost nothing if you're not around. So I do support what Meta is doing on this one. All right. Data centers may face temporary power cuts to prevent blackouts on the largest U.S. grids. So because of all these data centers rolling out, it turns out that the largest United States grid says, hey, government, we can't power all these data centers. And what they're saying now is because the data centers are hogging so much power, if there is a situation happening when during like a high power consumption usage, they actually said, yeah, we're going to shut the data centers off before the people. So maybe we're slowly starting to see a turn in, we're going to start seeing a turn in where all these things are at. So ultimately, the power company says this, they're looking to add more power, but yeah, as all of these data centers are coming online, they're consuming so much power, it's causing fundamental problems. And the government still wants everybody to be running all of these electric cars and electric everything and electric appliances, electric. Our grid cannot take it. This has got to be grossly malicious. All right. And our final article here, Tesla's door handles may spur new U.S. safety rules. We were talking a lot about this because it's like they're doing these things here, like these are cool doors. Now, there is a manual mode you can do with the Tesla doors, but they risk breaking the window. Talk about poor engineering, because it's so cool to just walk up and have the door open up for you. Ooh, it's all electric. It's all a bunch of nonsense. But the problem is people keep getting trapped inside of their cars. Okay. And so effectively, the automakers are now looking at regulations requiring automakers to ensure drivers and passengers can safely exit their vehicles. There's actually one model of car, I forget which one it is. They don't make it anymore, and dealers were selling off super cheap because there was a fundamental problem. If a fire was inside, the car would stop, pull over, and lock all the doors, and you couldn't get out. Better keep a fire extinguisher in there to A, put out the fire, and B, break through the window. Now people have become stuck inside their cars, flush with electronically operated door handles, because, you know, there's the electric motors, and these are like completely electric. They're not like electric runs the mechanics. These are like pure electric, and that has a fundamental problem if you have some critical system with the car. So NHTSA received a petition for rulemaking to require an emergency door egress system to address the risk of occupant entrapment in vehicles during electrical power failures, and the agency granted that petition. After receiving 9 reports from owners who were unable to get into their cars, sometimes with children still inside. Well, Tesla vehicles do have a manual door release. They're located only inside the car. How wonderful. So, and we were talking about this last night. This concept is ridiculously stupid. It is flashy for the sake of being flashy. It lacks core functionality. This is utter nonsense. Like, I have actually had cars in the past that have had, and their thing is, this is aerodynamic. You know, it's just as aerodynamic if your handle is a indented handle. It is just as aerodynamic. You can get in there. You can still pull the door open. In fact, I had a car like that in, it was the early 2000s, like 2001, a Crown Vic, and it had handles that were flush with the door. You go in there and the handles you just reach in the indent and you pull it open. This is just being cute for the sake of being cute, and it's utterly ridiculous. So we need to stop some of these new car trends. All right, now we're going to jump on into Sillyville. First up, we have an update. Apparently the sex robots will not be deployed in the schools after all. Apparently there was quite a lot of backlash from pretty much everybody. You got like parents like, you got the teachers like, got the kids like, and so they have decided that they're going to pause its project with Realbotics as it addresses concerns, including, of course, data privacy. Because don't forget, they did say, hey, these don't have access to your data, but you had to give it your student ID to interact with it. So does it really have access to your data or not have access to your data? So there's that. This one wasn't tech related, but it was hilarious, so we had to do it. Gas station's dinosaur gets stolen and released back into nature near Yellowstone. This is a Sinclair gas station. All Sinclair gas stations that I've ever seen have a green dinosaur out in front of it. And some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller. Apparently somebody stole one of the dinosaurs and put it in Yellowstone River. So there you go. So basically a 12-foot dinosaur nicknamed Dino that usually stands outside a Sinclair gas station near Gardner in Montana was stolen Sunday night. It reappeared bolted to a 100-foot cliff face overlooking the Yellowstone River. Grade A level prank, dude. Grade A level prank. All right. So, a dinosaur couldn't bolt away because it was literally bolted to the rock in which it was standing. That made it more difficult to retrieve. Who works at the gas station? I'm the guy who had to retrieve it, said Johnson, adding that he likes to call the 6 foot tall and 12 foot long, 150 pound fiberglass dinosaur Dino. It could have been worse. Whoever took him already obviously planned this because they brought all the proper tools to remove it from our location, then drill it into the granite anchor to the cliff face. The Sinclair folks were pretty good natured about the prank. I found it funny, Sinclair employee said. To think that our dinosaur was sitting on top of the canyon up there, it was funny. We were laughing all day. Dinos getting back out again. Life will not be contained. All right, and now if you have a app addiction, here you have a $9 physical key to lock your apps. So the idea here is like there were lockout applications, like you could set time limits on your app, but then you just get some warning screen. You can push past it and keep going. There's the one that turns your screen black and white, so it allegedly is more boring to you, I guess, and that doesn't really work. Well, this is basically an NFC chipped key that you put with you tie this to your apps that you want to use it, and then you only have 60 minutes. And after 60 minutes, you have to go and get the key, and you do the NFC magic to the key, to the app again. And I got news for you. If you have an app that's on your phone that's this addictive to you, just uninstall it. You will be a lot better for yourself. Each unlock session can last for up to 60 minutes before the apps are automatically locked again. Physical requirement is what makes the idea compelling. Instead of depending on your self-control, you can leave the NFC key in another room or even at the office or gym, turning the mindless impulse to open Instagram or TikTok into a deliberate decision that requires extra effort. At $9, autonomous key is considerably cheaper than its competitors like Block, Unplug, and Brick. Okay, so there you go. There's a sleep mode, the ability to block in-app purchases. Autonomous key covers the core functionality at a fraction of the price. So there you go. If you're addicted to an app, you can now get a physical key to curb your addiction. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about all those in the comments down below.